Hello again, I'm Dean Jones, President and CEO of Realogic Sotheby's International Realty. This is Broker Perspectives, and today we have two exceptional guests that are joining us, Rebecca Mitsui and Tom Skepateris. Welcome to
Thanks
Broker Perspectives, and more importantly, welcome to the RSAR Nation. I'm so excited that you have joined our firm.
So are we.
Happy, that's for sure.
Let's get right to it, guys. Tell us a little bit about your trajectory, the career that you've had to date. Rebecca, let's start with you.
Okay, I've been in the business 25 years. Started when my youngest went into kindergarten, and did mostly resell business and just sort of learned on my own, because back then there wasn't teams or anybody really to kind of help you along the way. Kind of hit my stride at about year 3 or 4, and then from there, just really, I mainly worked in West Seattle at the time because that's where I lived. But over the years, and going from one national brokerage to another, kind of learning what the different brokerages had to offer, and learning how to build a team and run a business and do all of that. And then most recently joining with Tom, doing new construction over the last 6 years. So I kind of have this history of resale experience, and then now a deep knowledge of the new construction industry and the process and the contacts and the people.
It's so incredibly impressive because you've had that enterprise knowledge of working basically as the CEO within one of these brokerages, and then also acting on the front lines on the retail front. And then you connected with Tom. And to set the stage here, guys, you are the top producing by units in the market since 2020 in terms of new construction and overall unit sales. What are those numbers again?
Oh God, we're almost, that's a lot. I mean, that's been almost over, we're almost at 3,700 transactions in almost 25-year career.
But that's over our career.
Yeah, that's between the two of us. So, that's been a lot of transactions from resale deals. I think sometimes where some things are lost about us, and I'll talk about where I've come from too, is that we do a lot of resale as much as we do new construction too as well. So we do 65% new construction in our world, and the rest is resale. Yes, we're very heavy in new construction, but that's opened up so many avenues of resale business, of first-time buyer business, of just business in general for real estate. And I think for me, starting over 25 years ago, starting in a little brokerage, or not a little brokerage, but in Magnolia, brokerage in Magnolia with John L. Scott, where I was the only young guy there, and I had all these little ladies, older ladies there that loved me, and they helped me out, and they took me under their wing and helped me get started. And I think I got lucky when I got my first transaction in the first month. And I was sitting in an office doing something, and some buyer comes in yelling and was mad because somebody didn't get back to them. And I looked up, and it was a friend of mine. So I ended up getting his listing, got the first sale within 30 days. Then I said in my mind, I said, okay, if I don't make this in 5 years, then I'm going to go on to whatever I'm going to do, whatever that is. And it took me about 5 years to get into it. And I saw an ad in the newspaper. Yes, newspapers used to advertise
back in the day
for a real estate agent for site sales on the east side here, and it turned out to be for John Buchan Homes. And I ended up, took me a couple weeks to get the job, but I begged and begged and begged, basically, got the broker to give me the position because I saw the value in going to a property that had 100 homes to sell. And they were all townhomes. It's called Lockshire, correct. And they wanted to give me $500 a month or a sale. I said, okay, great. And they looked at me and said, you want to do that for $500 sale? Yeah, I see 100. I didn't see 500, I saw 100. So that started everything that I've done. And I owe everything, in my opinion, what I've learned into where we are right now, and, to being that site salesperson where you're there 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, talking to 20 people. We specialize in learning how to, and I say specialize in a way where we take care of buyers. I love working with first-time buyers, even though we're one of the biggest listing teams in the country, or in the Washington. I love working with buyers, and Rebecca does too as well. And she loves working with listings, and she loves working with buyers. And over the last 6 years, we partnered together as a team. So we went from here separate, solo agents that were doing very well, to becoming one. And now we're just on top of the world.
You're a powerhouse. You refer to yourselves as yin and yang.
Yeah, that's kind of what we tell people. What's great about us is you get two brokers. for the price of one. But what you also get is, Tom is very, his energy and his, effervescence for buyers and really loving to work with buyers. And I have, I'm a managing broker. I've ran a team, designated broker in the past. So I have more of that side of us. You get both, right?
It's
and
rare
also,
it's rare that you get two people that have done this so long together.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm also so connected to the fact that you are active in your business. You're not just referring it to underlings in a sense. I mean, you are the name on the sign, and you're the one that answers the phone.
Some people are really shocked, like, "Oh, you answered the phone." And I'm like, "Well, yes."
I like people say, "What? You don't answer your phone?"
I mean, we're talking about hundreds of transactions a year.
And I will say, we have an apparatus behind us that allows us to be able to answer the phone.
Well, let me throw at you a profound compliment. Very few people understand the ecosystem of land development, design, engineering, value engineering, and retail marketing expertise that you have.
Yeah.
And it's so important right now. And one of the reasons I think we're so well aligned, this is serendipitous, is with House Bill 1110, your deep bench of relationships with builders, your core knowledge about design and what consumers are desiring today, and getting it right from a price point and a product offering. I mean, there's very few
spec
people.
level, all of that,
And you know what to include and maybe what to eliminate, because you're also partnering with these builders to bring the missing middle housing to the market. And what are your thoughts about where we're at in the industry now, and why you've made your move, Rebecca?
Well, I definitely felt that what we were, so being at a boutique firm, which is where we're most recently at, allowed us, it was focused mainly on new construction. So we did get a little pigeonholed into only doing new construction. So it was a little tougher for us to really, win over the luxury home sellers that but we did. But one of the things that we wanted is to be able to eliminate that as any sort of pushback on working with us. So we looked around town. We went, to all the different brokerages that we would have considered, and Sotheby's is one of them.
Yes.
And really, when we came in, I wasn't sure what to expect. Obviously everyone knows Sotheby's as the, auction house in New York. That's kind of what you think of. Obviously, I know in real estate they've been a good player here for many years. But going in and just meeting the people in your Seattle office, and there was people from your Kirkland office. Like, we came in and there was 6 people there with different, specialties ready. They were prepared for us, ready, and just to let us know what you had to offer. And we were very impressed with the level of service that you provide to your brokers.
And I'll even add to that. And I'm a firm believer of this. When I'm dealing with buyers out there, sellers, but mostly buyers in this particular comment that I'm going to make, I always tell buyers when we're having our pre-meeting is, you know what, you're going to know the home you're going to like by the time you walk up to that front door.
Right.
You don't need to get inside. There's some feeling that you're going to feel. I can't tell you when it's going to be, but I promise you will know that home. I felt that way when I sat down and saw everybody there. And after about 10 minutes, I knew we were coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, guys. And this is the family that you choose. And I think you've only just begun to scratch the surface of your potential, because it's well beyond Seattle, well beyond our state lines, and even the international borders. I mean, this is a lifestyle proposition that you're going to be able to bring to your clientele.
I'm glad you even said that, not to cut you off there, but we always sell ourselves that this is a lifestyle for us. Right. We're not just selling real estate. We love selling real estate. We talk about real estate. I've sold real estate sitting at a happy hour at a bar. The bartender bought houses from me before, and clients sitting next to me. But we always sell the lifestyle of what it is. And it's not fancy jets and fast cars and all that kind of, that's not what we're talking about. It's just we love this life of selling real estate.
Well, and you love each other and the clients that you keep and the results you generate. I mean, it speaks volumes for your passion. And, we're at this inflection point in the market. I think some of the political, dysfunction that we've seen in Seattle is resolving.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we're in a new economic cycle. House Bill 1110 is going to change our backyards. We're going to see a lot of this micro housing developments, and we are going to have to scale together.
Yeah.
And I want to invite you both to be part of our strategic advisory council for land development.
Oh, we would love
We
that.
love
Thank
it. I
you.
mean, we
Yeah.
were the forefront, I believe. If we weren't the first listing, we were shortly behind the first listing of ADU Dadu
Yeah.
SFR site. And so it took us a few years. There was nobody else in the game.
Right.
They were pretty fun to explain to people
Yeah.
at the time. Agents were like, "What?" So we did classes, letting everyone know sort of how this new product was going to work within.
And I think once we did that, was a game changer, not just for us, but a game changer for the agents. That's
Tom, it's so important that you recognize the changes of policy, because developers are going to have to serve their role in public service to deliver on this housing bill. And we're going to have to scale our companies together. I mean, the two of you are first name basis with all your clients and all of the consumers and the brokers that you partner with. How are you going to scale into this? I mean, you're doing thousands of transactions in the last couple of years, but I mean, they could be tens of thousands going forward.
For sure. I think one of the things that we've loved our little niche and our little comfort zone, but we got together and decided that this next 10 years it's go time. It's our time to shine. It's our time to grow. So that's the other reason why we really were excited about choosing Sotheby's, because we feel like there is a great ability and support system for us to be able to grow the team that we are going to help us get to those,
our
to
previous
that next
brokerage
level.
was great for what they did and how we did things, and we earned a lot of business because of us.
Right.
And having the previous broker's name behind us. But one of the big things, as we said, walking in knowing we were going to go with you, as I mentioned earlier, was just having the apparatus behind us.
Yeah, it's
Having the
infrastructure.
name behind us, so people know us.
Right.
The agents know us. You could say we're the face of our previous brokerages, which we were. But I think now having the apparatus behind us with our faces and doing what we do is going to help everybody, and it's going to be great for buyers. It's going to be great for sellers. It's going to be great for the brokers. It's going to be great for us. It's just going to be a fun environment that we're going to create. And I think there's just going to be a lot of opportunity, and especially I think for sellers and for buyers, this is going to be a pretty cool time.
Yeah, well, and by the way, when I say scaling, it's not just in King County. This is statewide, but it's also a conversation that we're having in other municipalities in other states with our brand. They understand as a franchisor that the next generation of business for us ahead is going to be in new construction and truly nationalizing what we do in development marketing and also with some of these zoning legislative changes, because that is the future of a lot of cities. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are going to be part of a roadshow and showing other states how to do it. And really quite literally, Seattle is going to be a wonderful proving ground for this legislation. And so, I mean, here we are with the right people at the right time with the right brand. I just couldn't be more excited
No,
to
and
be
I think it's just
Us too.
education
alongside
again.
you
For
guys.
it took buyers a little bit of time to understand what this ADU, DADU, single family home SFRs as we call them, on a site, what they look like. And we still do open houses, meet buyers all the time. So
We always want to
anybody's
stay
out
in
there,
touch with what the buyer is,
That's so
what their
important,
concerns
though.
are.
Yeah.
'Cause
We
we
always
can't
like
be
to-
great listing brokers if we don't know what the buyer's, concerns and complaints and how do we allay those fears. That helps us sell our listings faster. And again, working with buyers.
Yeah, and I think the great thing that we've done over the years and how we do things, again, we have a team behind us that does a lot of things behind the scenes that allow us to be in the front of the scenes. And there are other team or people that do what we do, not at any large scale, but there are some teams out there that do what they do.
Yeah.
But we're the only one for the most part that actually interacts with buyers on a regular basis. Most of those other agents that are out there do great, and they're good agents and good teams and good companies.
But if you don't stay in touch with that buying public, that makes a huge difference in how you are as
It's how you add
listing
value
broker.
to your clients, which are builders oftentimes. And so you
They
can go
want to
from
know what the buyers are saying and what,
And as you've said, Rebecca, go from dirt to door,
Yeah.
right? And that entire life cycle is a distinct quality that you bring to your clientele. And I think we all know that some of those dirt dogs, as we call them, they're out there doing a very important work of
Yeah.
getting the land.
There-
But
it
then the
definitely is
list back,
unique.
sometimes they're less to be desired on the retail side of
Right.
things, which could be leaving capital on the table or equity for your builders. But you guys now with our brand, which is very well known for project marketing, a vertically integrated advertising agency at Clay, and then having all those other kind of verticals, transaction coordination, and obviously very well networked for exposure. We're going to bring all those advantages for your retail exit. And a higher exit pricing is going to enable you to do more dirt transactions.
Exactly.
I just couldn't be more excited about the timing of all this. And how do you maintain your excitement for this career path? I mean, you're going to be busier than ever. I mean, what is your why, Rebecca?
Well, my why, I'll do it in as succinct story as I can. My grandpa was a crabbing boat, chief engineer on a crabbing boat.
Wow.
And he would come back from his trips and buy rental properties. And over his, the years before he finally was able to retire from that dangerous industry, he bought about 20 homes. And then he was able to, one of those homes was for my mom, single mom that was raising us 3 kids together. So not only did it provide us a place that we could live in Sunset Hill and Ballard, great little neighborhood, but it also allowed him a very nice long retirement because then he slowly sold the houses. So I just saw real estate from a young age as something that was going to allow me to do well for, my family and take care of people as well as myself. So.
And you see what an important investment real estate has been for your family and for generational wealth and also providing a household. I mean, and you're doing that for literally thousands of families, many of which might be first-time buyers too.
Yeah.
Tom, how about you? What's your why?
I think mine's not as elaborate as that one, but similar in a way. But when I started real estate, it was more of a fluke, I call it. I wasn't looking, let's go be a real estate agent, let's go be a salesperson. I was working for my father-in-law, who was one of the bigger steel contractors in the Seattle area, built the Columbia Tower, those kind of, all the staircases and those kinds of things. And I thought I was going to be a steel tycoon. I say that, jokingly, obviously, but I thought that was my niche, and I was, 26 at the time. And unfortunately, he got sick and didn't have the right people working around him, and the company ended up closing. So all of a sudden, like, what are you going to do? I'll go back to the newspaper, again, something me in newspapers. I looked at and there was an ad about real estate agent. I said, okay, I think I can do that. And I've always been a people person. I'm always out there talking. I'm the one that can walk in a room and talk to anybody and sit at a bar, as I said, and talk to people and communicate. I said, let me try that. And that's really how it started. And I think the why, what I've learned over all these years is, I'm not going to say I was a rambunctious kid, but I had a lot of fun, let's just say. Yeah. And I got in a lot of trouble in a good way. But it's kind of my good deed in life, helping first-time buyers. Yeah. And especially as we've gone to where we are in our careers, all the relationships that we've had with builders and clients and knowing some of the off-market properties. I can honestly say, if it wasn't for us, for a buyer working with us in many situations, they would have not got what they would have not won a transaction in a multiple offer situation, even though we paid less. Yeah. They wouldn't have got the credit that we got from the seller because we've sold 100 homes for that seller, and he did a favor for us. So to me, we care is the big thing. And I think that's what really comes out in any time you meet me and Rebecca, whether it's in a listing presentation, we do open houses together.
Well, it's kind of like with people when they say, what's the secret to your success? It's like really simple. We care. Yeah. Yeah. And I want to work with people who care. And that was one of the things that we noticed when we went to the Seattle office and just like he said, almost right away, it was like, okay, this is it.
Well, I notice also, and this really is important to me, that the company that you keep and your respect for our industry with your peers from all the brands. I mean, you do thousands of transactions many times with a buyer's agent as well. Yeah. And, they respect you. And they know when you make a move that has meaning, when you announce a new project that's going to be novel, and when you debate over price, you know what you're saying. Yeah. And that is something that, we greatly value in our culture. And we just couldn't be more proud to have you guys be not. And
we
just
debate about prices all the time. Yeah, we love it. That's the nice thing too, is the yin and yang. I don't think we finished each other's sentences yet, but it will happen probably
It's getting
here.
close.
It's good, yeah.
And it happens all the time. But when whether it's bringing out a new project, bringing out a new listing, working with a buyer, we interchange very well with each other. And I do go back to the caring part. I think that's what people think. I think when I was talking about buyers, you probably saw my face lit up. Rebecca can tell a difference. If I have 3 buyers in my car
He's happy.
versus 5 listings, I light up when I have buyers.
I love working
Yeah.
with sellers.
Not that I don't
and-
like listings. Don't get me wrong, anybody out there, I love them.
Yeah.
But there's just something else about when you have a buyer that's never gone through the process and knowing the difficultness of what it is like to get a home nowadays, especially here in Seattle and in King County. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier in the new construction world, but in the resale world, it's not. But like I said, my face lights up when I talk about it. That's
Well,
the lifestyle
word
again.
care, I think could be an acronym for collaborative, affectionate real estate. That's what you
There you
guys are
go.
all about, and you make it feel.
We're going
like,
to use that.
Again, very happy to have you on board. This is going to be a very innovative time for our industry,
yeah.
and for our company and for your trajectory. So let's do this, guys.
Yeah,
all right,
let's
Tom.
do it.
All right, till next time.
That's right.
Caring. I love it. This has been Broker Perspectives. I'm Dean Jones. We'll see you next time.